Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Blobble right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now we're going to take a look at the crypto charts because we are currently pumping as it stands at the moment. But first and foremost, let's have a look at the coin market cap. So this is the CMC altcoin season index. At the moment, this is basically a sort of trigger for altcoin season at the moment. You can see we are rated 46 out of 100. So we have not quite reached altcoin season as of yet. However, I just want to show you guys the top 100 coins, the performance over the past sort of 3 months, over the past 90 days. You've got virtual up 2,700%. You've also got Fortcoiners up at 1,700 as well. And if I just come over to crypto bubbles at the moment, Fortcoin is the number one biggest gainer for the day. Yeah. So I always look into these things, yeah, because the market makers, for whatever reason, they like to troll the market. So I'm going to put it out there. This could potentially be hype, and it could also be a bit of a doo-doo pump, okay, is what I'm saying. So if we come back over to altcoin season, we can have a look at this index, see some of the biggest gainers. You've got H-bar there, XRP, XLM, XDC. So ISO coins have done very, very well. Okay. However, in the top 100, these coins are down. So these could potentially be some good picks in here. Obviously, I would recommend, not financial advice, clearly, but what I'd recommend is obviously staying clear of meme coins at this point as well. But I'm sure there's one or two decent picks amongst these sort of red sort of cryptos that are down over the past 90 days because a rising tide is going to lift all boats. Okay, so these could be in for a massive run around here. Again, guys, you can do your own research as opposed to which sort of cryptos you want to get in there. I believe Ton's pretty good. You got BNB down here as well, only up 16-17%. So BNB, that could be an option. Just have a look through Polygon as well. Obviously, once Ethereum does trigger altcoin market, Polygon could be a decent pick. You got AVAX down there as well, Avalanche. So, there's a couple of decent coins down there, but ultimately, I would be looking at getting into Quant, and I'll show you guys why I will be looking at getting into Quant at the moment. If there is some decent news coming out for the XRP SEC sort of Ripple lawsuit, if you will, that can come in today. It may already be out by the time this video goes live over on YouTube, okay? But the deadline is tomorrow, okay? So I would assume in the next sort of 24, 48 hours, certainly, that we will have an appeal lodged by the SEC. So whether that's going to tank or rocket XRP in terms of price action, that is when I will decide whether or not I'm actually re-entering into the crypto market with my dry powder. So this is Quant, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when I'm actually re-entering the market, I want to be re-entering cryptos that haven't really got going from the sort of 4th or 5th of November, which is obviously the US election here. So let's just mark that out there. So on the 5th, and then we can just clearly measure up from this sort of white trend line up here. So approximately, we've only run up about 81%. Okay, so it's not, yes, we've had the drawdown, yeah, we got up to sort of highs there, up to sort of like 170, yeah, maybe a little bit higher, yeah, 170 over on the candlestick pattern. So after the retracement, we're only looking at 80%, but if you look at, Quant's really good, by the way. If you guys, people are new to, obviously, crypto or just getting started at, Quant is utility for its interoperability. So, it's connecting networks and it's going to be used within, for me anyway, in the new quantum financial system amongst XDC, the likes of XLM and XRP. Yeah, it's going to basically be the glue that holds the new financial system together. So, in my view, just over $100 is a brilliant entry, in my opinion. However, we can, depending on what the SEC comes out with, like I said, in the next 24, 48 hours, I will make my decision based on that. So if I see XRP running, which is what we're going to visit now, once we find, let me just filter through the symbols. There you go. XRP currently trading here at $2.59. We'll round it up. $2.59. Typical 589, yeah, for the conspiracy theories in the XRP community. So I did watch, I don't really watch other YouTubers now because I don't want other YouTubers or influencers like sort of affecting sort of my decisions, and my sort of bias is towards where I feel like the market's going to go. I'm still very much, I still feel like there's got to be some serious sort of drawbacks because at the moment with XRP, Yeah, we've only actually had a drawback of say around 25% with this lines with markers. Yes, it could be more with if you start including the wicks, but ultimately in the sort of previous super cycle in the 17-18 one where we expect the three pumps this time around, we were getting drawbacks of 60%. So this is nowhere near the 60% that we require in order to get going. So that 60%, funnily enough, that brings us down to the 200-day moving average, which is what I've been calling for, around $1. And it would also take out these two shells as well, where there would be liquidity locked up for people, entering the markets, and also for retail traders that are placing stop losses down here. So that would be a feasible argument. But so far, you cannot deny XRP is looking bullish because it's broken out of this bull flag. Yeah, so bull flags typically break out 70%, and it has broken out to the upside. We do have the 15th highlighted here with a red sort of vertical line, if you will, and then literally 5 days later we do have let's move that across an extra day. So is that on the 20th now? Anyway, you get the gist. So on the 20th, that would be Trump's inauguration. Okay, so he'll be stepping into office at that point. So far, it does look really good for XRP, but the sentiment is, I feel everybody is really, really, really and extremely bullish on XRP. Okay. And for that reason, it is a zero sum game. So if you guys are going to make money, somebody has to lose money. Now, besides myself, there's nobody out of the market. You're not going to make any money out of me because I've already sold all of my crypto at this point. Okay. I'm sat on the sidelines. So where is the money going to come from? Yes, market makers can pump money into the market, but ultimately they're going to want to take it back at a profit. So you got to understand how market makers and this price action moves. Okay, in my view, the best sort of situation for sort of XRP holders is if it was to get a break. Now, the daily close up here is on this this green candle here, so that actually closed at around $2.72. So I would expect people, I'd expect XRP anyway to start rallying up and take out 272. Okay, and that would be enough, in my opinion, to get everybody re-entering the market and get really excited. And that's probably when I'll get people messaging me again saying, ha ha ha, we're never going to see $1 again before, the eventual rollover. So I'm still seeing that at the moment. Everyone's too bullish. But again, guys, it's all probabilities. I could be wrong, guys. I'm just a guy on YouTube giving you my 2 pence piece. But ultimately, what XRP is doing now, I'm going to have to go out onto the weekly to give you guys a better sort of picture. What I think is happening here is we are creating a ledge. Now, this ledge will be used in future at some point because obviously you've got this sort of weekly closes here. Yeah, and you've obviously had all this sort of consolidation here. So this is going to be a new shelf. So this shelf will come into play at some point down the line. Yeah, so if we begin to run up, we could get up to two digits. Yeah, in a bullish sort of situation, we can do more. I've got all the targets over in the XRP plan, link below in the description for that, theblockbulls.com, for my exit strategy. But ultimately, we are creating a sort of supply and demand zone. So this yellow line will come into play at some point. So, like I said, if we run up maybe $5, $6, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. XRP starts getting away from this sort of level sooner or later. It could be at the end of the end of the bull market, perhaps in sort of 2026. Ultimately, it's going to come into play at some point, which is why I believe we've been consolidating around these highs. Yeah, but ultimately, I would expect us to at least retest these sort of 3 peaks, which has been pivotal in the previous cycle. Again, we got around 150 there, 125, and around 125 again. Again, if we was to take out all these peaks, we'd probably be looking at coming down to about $1. So there is quite a lot of price where money is trapped either in stop losses or whether, some sort of form of liquidity. So there'll be supply and demand zones ultimately, okay, entries, whatever it may be. So I do expect us to at least wick down there. But in my view, we're going a lot lower. That's just my view, guys. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm going to give you guys both situations. So at the moment, I'm going to say XRP looks really good. But my gut feeling is, and obviously me studying the historical data, I feel like I've almost come too far down the line now to actually go back on what I'm saying. So I'm going to stick to my guns, and for me, it's going to make me the most. It's going to increase my token. So I want it to fall down simply because I can fill my bags, and I will be in the 0.1% of XRP holders. So in a way, I'm kind of praying it comes down. If it's like I said, if it starts getting away, there's other cryptos in the market. It's not just XRP. Yeah, but I want to go down as a legend, and the only way I'm going to go down as a legend is if it comes back down to retest this apex, which is what I've got penciled in here. So if that happens, do you know what I mean? I'm going to be very, very happy, and you know what? I'll probably have over on X. I will have, that pinned tweet that I posted with a Porsche and the nice, blacked out mansion as well. Looks brilliant. But ultimately, look at this. This is Chinese New Year pump. So I believe Chinese New Year, I think it's 28th or 29th of January. It's at the end of this month anyway, literally within a couple of weeks. So historically, Bitcoin has rallied up. Yeah, from these sort of vertical lines here. Usually we see a decent pump, which is important because obviously it leads the rest of the sort of crypto market. Okay, so that is XRP. Let's take a look at Velo, because Velo is looking brilliant, might I add. Yeah, so there is some cryptos that are looking really good, but again, gut feeling is just everybody's involved in crypto. If there wasn't as much noise, I'd probably be more bullish than what I am. Yeah, but it's only because the sentiment is there's quite a lot of hype and there's a lot of moon boys now. Yeah, so that's why I'm very, very cautious at the moment, because as soon as the market sentiment shifts to where everybody expects XRP to get to sort of double digits within like a couple of weeks of, Trump coming into office, then for me it's a red flag and it starts ringing alarm bells. It doesn't sit right with me. But ultimately, this is Velo now, so. What's important is these sort of blue sort of trend lines. So this is just marking out the sort of high structure and the low acting as support. And we do have sort of 20th of January coming up now. So is this almost like a brick wall now where Velo has to make a decision? Now, it doesn't have to. This doesn't have to be a brick wall. It could continue bouncing. Yeah, it could bounce down here, which is, that is an option. That is a possibility where we do roll over. Yeah, we don't have to get going on the 20th. Yeah, this is just a misconception, The last super cycle we had back in 2017 when Donald Trump come into office, was it 2017-18 cycle of XRP, the super cycle? It actually traded down for 40 days. Now, that's not to say Velo's going to do the same, but ultimately, the risk is involved with Velo. I would say it was about 40 to 50% retracement, yeah? If we do get going, then you know what? We could be looking at getting up to this sort of red, this is going to be a 200-day moving average here. So if Velo does get up to sort of 200-day moving average, we're probably looking at getting up to about 10 cent, which would surpass this sort of inception here on this particular exchange. So let's start putting in some sort of lines here. So if we was to run up to this sort of, like I said, this red moving average, I'd be looking at getting up to this sort of level here. Okay, so 200%, what's that? Is that 3x your bag? So that's not a bad return. So you're either going to lose half your money or 3x your bag. Again, guys, that is your decision to have. But at the moment, he's pressing up big time against resistance. So it's literally, these next couple of days are absolutely massive in the markets. We're either going to lose half of our money or we're going to get at least a 3x straight off the bat. And I'd expect this, if it was to break to the upside, I'd expect this 3x to happen within the space of a week. I really do, going off XRP's historical data, just as like a leading indicator, if you will. So, yeah, Velo looks good. But let's get over to, we could visit Gala as well, because I did take a trade on Gala. So Gala is really good in terms of risk to reward, which is why I enjoy actually trading Gala. What I would say as well, I will get onto XDC after this one. So, in my view, I'm always weighing up the risk. So, worst case scenario, I do believe we will keep the inverse head and shoulders intact. So, worst case scenario, Gala, in my view, would, it'd only be looking at a correction of around 35-36% from current price action. So, I don't mind taking that risk. Whereas the risk for XRP is you could be losing 80% of your money. Yeah. So, is it worth the risk? For example, if you was to ride XRP up to $5, it's only a 2x where you could lose 80% of your money. For me, the risk to reward isn't quite there. Where Velo has got better risk to reward, in my opinion, than XRP. You could be looking at a 3x and then only, looking at maybe losing around 50%. The reason why XRP would lose more than other sort of cryptos is simply because of the SEC. Yeah, the SEC is in direct conflict with Ripple. Okay, so it will affect XRP price more than any other cryptos. And the fact that XRP has run up like 5, 6x if you're considering the $2.90 where we got that sort of high back in December. So it's up 5, 6x, where some of these cryptos, for example, like Gala, we're only looking at, after the retracement anyway, we're only up about 80%. So again, guys, it all comes down to risk to reward. If you are in big money, you've got to preserve your capital. So this is what separates the sort of amateurs from the sort of professional guys. Okay, it's all about preserving your wealth. So if you are up over, I'd say about 50k, you need to start looking after your money. Yeah, because 50k is a lot of money. So that's Gala. But ultimately, we've got these sort of trend lines coming in here. So you can see the sort of interaction here where, we get the break. All these are sort of parallel, you see. So these are all different levels. So this is why I said the worst case scenario would end up here. If we do manage to get a break, we'll be looking at invalidating this head and shoulder pattern, which is what Velo's doing at the moment. So if Velo's invalidating it, I don't see why Gala can't do that either, because this is actually lagging when we did believe initially this would run up first. So if we do look at starting invalidating, it's almost like a 2x just to get up to the sort of top of structure. That's before we actually go into price. Or when I say price discovery, what I mean is we can start running up these sort of big wicks up here. So what I'm saying is we can start moving heftily. So there's not only limited downside for Gala, you've got 2x straight out of the bat just to get up to sort of resistance with Gala. And then you've got all these other gains, running up these sort of big candles as well. So you can see here, I would expect us to at least start challenging, especially these sort of shells around here. I would say we'll come down lower just to be conservative, at least here where the sort of first sort of resistance is flipped into support when we did create that sort of high there. So that's around 360%. So some decent gains to be had on the table. Okay. XDC's run up really well today as well. Let's just close this down so we can see the chart a little bit better. So this is XDC. And what I'll do is we'll delete that as well. Let's just going to clear it up for you guys so it's easier to see. Again, guys, we've got this sort of 15th in. That's the sort of closest week. We could bring it forward a little bit. So that's Bitcoin halving, and then you've got Donald Trump coming in there. Okay. So again, US elections has been pivotal. So that has been the impulse. And this is why everyone's expecting 20th to be bullish as well. But ultimately, we are going to be looking at challenging all-time highs, yeah? It's almost like a 2x to all-time highs. So at the moment, XDC is like halfway between, from where we got going at US elections to pretty much all-time highs. We're pretty much here nor there. So this is why I want to let XDC play out a little bit, until we get some sort of clarification, because at the minute, we're just in no man's land. Okay, so with XDC, again, I've marked out this yellow horizontal line. So a lot of cryptos, for example, Ethereum, when we did have that sort of correction yesterday, it was trading at the exact same price it was trading at the time of the Bitcoin halving on the 19th of April. So there's a lot of cryptos that have done this. Gala is one of them. It's already revisited. So there's a lot of cryptos that have got minimal downside now. A lot of risk is off the table, in my opinion. Some other cryptos like XDC, for example, could do with retesting the Bitcoin halving price, which is around 4 cents anywhere, give or take. Yeah, where was it? Again, this is a weekly candle, so I would say around sort of 4 cents. So that, again, the risk involved in XRP is a retracement of 50%. So you need to accommodate these risks. Yeah. So if it doesn't go your way with a mega pump, which is, we're kind of half expecting a big move this week. If it doesn't go your way, you've got to be able to ride at least 50, 60, 70, or even 80% in some cases. Yeah. So just do the calculation. Make sure you've got enough bills to cover the next couple of months. Okay. At least have a little bit of dry powder. Then you've got dry powder, one to cover your bills. And if it does capitulate, you can also re-enter into the market at these sort of really low prices, yeah? And then obviously you can increase your crypto. Now, who doesn't want to do that? Okay. So XDC at the moment, again, guys, I'm not really, it's very difficult to call at the moment with XDC, where some other cryptos are looking better risk to reward, if you will. Especially Gala anyway. I absolutely love Gala in the fact the risk to reward is there, and it can do those sort of god candles as well, where we do run up 10x. Still got to play catch up. So Velo's looking really strong at the moment. What I would say is I'd go in reverse order. So for example, XRP is probably the riskiest. No risk, no Ferrari. It's one of them guys. But again, guys, if you've got big capital, you want to preserve it, which is what I'm saying. So XRP is probably the riskiest at the moment. XDC and Velo's looking better on the upside, to be honest with you. So I would be inclined to kind of avoid that at the moment. Just see if it gets that close above that sort of break and invalidate that head and shoulder pattern. But ultimately, I would say Quant and Gala are probably the two, and then I'd probably be eyeing next in that list. Probably go Velo, XDC, then XRP would probably be the last one that I'd be looking at getting in now, just because it's going to be the first one to receive a sledgehammer if the news is negative, like I say, within the next 24 hours with the SEC. But that's just my opinion, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe the video. I've been the Blockbull. Until next time, the Blockbull is over and out.